pressing the self-destruct button.
And that spot-on splendid opening was brought y'all today from the Black GoT, a Quohor's YouTube channel. Go check him out sometime. His Game of Thrones remixes, like I said, are spot on. This right here is the Fivefold Understanding YouTube variety channel, where the light in the attic is always on. Around here, we call it like we see it. Balls and strikes, thus we call out bullshit when we see it. So welcome one and all, and to a very, very special select few of you anyway. Welcome back. I just recently returned from a sabbatical. For the most part, you could call. I was down in Boca Raton, drinking Mocha Patron, sitting on the porch. Anyhow, I need to apologize to a very, very special select few of you. Anybody who was looking forward to that Zodiac video I promised, or the Elseworlds or the DC thing, big trouble at the airport. Cracked the screen on the tablet. Only worked half the screen halfway down there. I got frustrated with it on the porch. I cracked it. Anyways, watching the hockey game, ended up snapping it in half and throwing the goddamn thing in the garbage. And then stupidity hits idiocracy on the plane ride. On the way back, I realized I left the goddamn SD card inside of the tablet. So I do apologize for that. Anyways, we got to move forward. On the docket today, I'm doing a Game of Thrones video because I've been a big fan of this show since it started. And I'm going to tell you this right now. In the history of cinema, there's never been a bigger, epic, 4th and goal, 4th down, epic fail fumble than what we're witnessing. I mean, look at Bran's face. Look at that glum look on his face. Not only does it say, hey, I'm a red herring and I'm totally helpless, but you look closely, what does it say? It says, we here at HBO are officially 100% out of ideas and don't give a shit moving forward. And you don't believe me when it comes to the long, boring night, okay, what we watched last week or the week before, episode 8, or episode 3, season 8? Just take a quick look at this.
I didn't want there to be any kind of real gratuitous light sources in these caves. I mean, it's proving a problem as we're filming it to suddenly think, well, how are we actually going to light this scene because they've only got, a box of matches on them. So, right, well, we use a box of matches. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we use a box of matches.
Okay, you see the drastic difference there? And what was The Descent, filmed a decade ago? And they give us this ambiguous, horribly visualized Battle of Winterfell. Not to mention all the atrocities and unforgivable story work decapitations we watched throughout that episode. We could barely see it. The execution of the Night King, okay? The Darth Vader of fantasy. Executed by a teleporter. And all your favorite, all the big Game of Thrones YouTube channels are sure as shit a lot of them. And I'm going to start calling these some shill channels because I can't understand for the life of God how none of them come down hard on this show until after the fans reacted to the truth. And you know what the worst one? Right here, this guy. And I've watched a lot of good videos this guy's made over the years, but if he's going to sit there and tell you how good the long, boring night was, when it was an absolute epic failure on multiple levels, never mind the fact that this guy's constantly putting out theories about all this stuff, all this, what does this mean, and this could mean this and that. And what's funny is he gives the episode like a 9 or something like that, tells you how great of an episode it was. No, all the magic, all the mystery died without any reveal or revelation, period. And then what is he doing a couple days later? Maybe Melisandre's ruby ring is high. No. These people are out of ideas and or they don't give a shit. So that's what I'm starting to think. A lot of these channels are subsidiaries of HBO and have some direct link to it to prop people up and get them excited so they can just deliver this fucking cannon fodder. And I mean sad cannon fodder. And we're going to get at that here in a minute with the thumbnail. I don't put that up there for nothing. There's a reason I'm going to point out something here. But this whole show absolutely went down the tube. Melisandre, the best character on the show, probably the deepest character we're ever going to see in our lifetimes, internally and all the many aspects of the Red Woman. And for these guys to do what they did, my God. I'm talking Dickhead 1 and Dickhead number 2, who were absolutely out of material when Martin's books came to their, we'll call it a brief reprieve. He wanted to see what these guys would do without all his help. And you can see what happened. After season 4, for the most part, this show just keeps constantly descending at a rapid pace. And then you hear Dickhead 1 and Dickhead 2. That's right. They got Disney contracts to do the next Star Wars trilogy. Thus why, all of a sudden, post Game of Thrones season 4 again, you get this express travel going on where people are fucking teleporting around. And I'll tell you what, I don't know if they're pushing it or if they're told to push it or if these are more of those fucking assholes who like pushing it. But all the guys are dead. All the better characters, for the most part, are dead. And the ones that are alive don't have no balls anyway. I mean, maybe Tyrion, but think about it. Varys and the Unsullied. You know what I mean? It's like there's a real big metaphor here for, feminist dominance. This is a woman's war in the end of all this shit. And then they constantly make fun of Jon Snow's height. Like that's funny. I mean, that got old a long time ago. And the worst part about it, the epitome of fucking stupid is what they did with Arya. I mean, are you guys kidding me? You basically, for the most part, put characters from American fiction and compounded them into the teleporter Arya. And like I said, you couldn't have her climb a tree, nothing. The Weirwood tree at some point, I'm going to protect Bran or so. They fucked this whole thing up so bad, and there's no way they can come back from it. And that's the saddest part about all this shit. And wait till I get to my Jack and Hagar here theory. But I think we should touch on the next thumbnail. For everybody who clicked on it for the thumbnail, I'm more or less talking about 3 season 8, but we'll talk about 4. Because what do you not see on the back of those ships? Okay, now that was awesome. The way they did that, it looked really good for the most part. And I know everybody's pissed. How are they going to shoot 3 or 4 scorpions and land 3 or 4 of them with all basically perfect shots? And the dragon died, that dragon was already dead. Everybody needs to shut up about that. That dragon died 2 or 3 times back at the Battle of Winterfell. And like I was saying, cannon fodder like a motherfucker. That's what this thing was. That's why they kept it around. You go watch that episode, The Long Boring Night. You're going to tell me that dragon didn't die 2 or 3 times throughout that war? Come on now. That thing was on the paragraph strictly for cannon fodder. And this which brings me up my next point. Daenerys, she reacts to this and dive bombs those ships, right? Keep in mind, these aren't any ships. These are Euron, Ziggy Stardust, Greyjoy's ships, right? One of the worst casted characters on this entire show. Okay, well, if you look closely at these boats, which look great for the most part, they got these big scorpions on the front of them, ballista shooting, Kyburn upgraded 2.0 designs. Look at the back of them. There's nothing on the back of these boats. And there's no way those scorpion crossbows can turn a 180 and shoot without ripping apart the hull and destroying all the navigation capabilities on these ships. So why wouldn't Daenerys fly over them and come around from the backside of these boats and light them up? You tell me that right now. How stupid is that? They got all the CGI power in the world and they can't put these cannons or whatever, scorpions. They can't put some on the back end of the boats to make it believable? I mean, it's bad enough what they did with Arya. And it's funny because everybody worried about these ice spiders. That's the least of anybody's worries, right? Yeah, it would have been cool to have these ice spiders around. And people thought it was, oh, no, when they made Casterly Rock look like this, right? It's supposed to be the single most impregnable castle anywhere on Westeros, Easteros, what do they call it? Worldios or whatever the hell they call it. And, yeah, they got it wrong. Because, there's your Casterly Rock, right? from all the descriptions, even in the histories and lore that come with the books, that might have been a problem, but that was nothing compared to what they've fucking shown us moving forward. What am I talking about? Melisandre. All the magic, all the mystery, which they thought would be great to just kill off completely. In one single episode, all three of the big magical components without any reveal or revelation. And that's what I told somebody. I said, here's cheers. Cheers to all the plot twists that weren't hidden inside of the Winterfell crypts. You know how many things you could have put down in there? And instead they give us, here's a good example. The Lightning Lord, Beric Dondarrion, right? He actually appeared in season 1. It's like the sheriff of King's Landing or something. Ned sent them off to find the mountain. Anyways, this guy comes back from the dead 19 times throughout the Game of Thrones saga. You know why he comes back from the dead 19 times? So he can be a Winterfell hallway barricade for Arya. They couldn't think of nothing better than that to do with this character. And furthermore, Melisandre, we're a character at this depth in our lifetimes ever again. And for them to make the point of her arc about lighting a trench on fire, okay, and then giving Arya a pep talk reminder about eye color before she, walks out of the castle and strips off her immortality necklace, whatever they call it, I can't think of the name, and just, pulls a Lot's wife on us for the most part. Exits stage left and pulls a Lot's wife. They couldn't think of nothing better than that. For her to light a fucking trench on fire and remind Arya of some stupid pep talk about eye color, some stupid bullshit from season 3. It's almost an insult to season 3, because season 2 and season 3 were the best ones. It was darkness and then the adventures of the Riverlands. I mean, we should almost take a moment, just a minute, down memory lane, and a little stroll here down memory lane to that good Game of Thrones darkness, where Melisandre predicts almost everything. Listen closely and just look at the camera work, how great of an intro this was for a character like her. Dragonstone. This is the first or second episode of season 2.
We offer you these false gods. Take them and cast your light upon us. For the night is dark and full of terrors. The night is dark and full of terrors. After the long summer, darkness will fall heavy on the world. Stars will bleed.
We need to stop her.
The cold breath of winter will freeze the seas.
Not now.
And the dead shall rise in the north.
All you men were named in the light of the Seven. Is this how you treat the gods of your fathers? Are you so eager to spit on your ancestors?
The smell of fear. Fear and piss and old bones. Do you want to stop me? Stop me. In the ancient books it's written that a warrior will draw a burning sword from the fire. And that sword shall be Lightbringer.
So all that correct. What a beautiful character intro. What about this sword? Did these goddamn showrunners think we were going to forget about this little prophecy? The sword Lightbringer? Okay. Furthermore, I want to remind everybody, when Melisandre, after her and Stannis went at it on the famous Dragonstone Westerosi map table, Davos escorts her to a cave to have the Shadowbinder demon assassin baby, right? What else was found in that cave? That's where they got the dragon stone from. I mean, there's so much stuff they could have connected there that they totally looked over and just said, fuck it, the hell with it. And that's an insult not only to the show, but a character of this depth. And here's a little one we'll dive into real quickly. Nothing satanic about this. Watch this. It's still a great scene. This is Damon Blackfire's channel too, if you want to go check him out.
Your Grace. Do your knucklebones bring you luck?
My knife's been good since you hacked them off, Your Grace. And it's 4 less fingernails to clean.
Fewer.
Pardon?
4 fewer fingernails to clean. Never understood why you had to wear them.
Reminds me where I come from and where I am now. Reminds me of your justice. It was an honest punishment, and you were good with the cleaver.
You were a hero and a smuggler. A good act does not wash out the bad, nor a bad the good.
Now listen, I've tried to teach my son.
Does he listen?
To me? God's no. But if your red woman told him to leap from the crow's nest...
She has a name. Trust you've not forgotten your smuggler's tricks.
I've lived within the law for 17 years.
I want you to be a smuggler this time.
Any shore, any night. What am I bringing ashore?
Your red woman. No one must know what you do, and will not speak of this again.
I am true to your Grace, and always will be. But surely there are other ways, cleaner ways.
Cleaner ways don't win wars.
Are you afraid on your night?
Someone once told me the night is dark and full of terrors.
You carry more unpleasant cargo in your time. Are you a good man, Sir Davos Seawood?
I'd say my parts are mixed, milady. Good and bad.
If half an onion is black with rot, it's a rotten onion. A man is good or he is evil.
Which are you?
Oh, good. I'm a knight myself of sorts. A champion of life.
Well, that must be very nice for you.
Love your wife.
I do.
Other women.
Don't talk about my wife.
I'm not. I'm talking about other women. Like me, Sir Davos. You want him. You want to see what's beneath this robe. And you will.
Strange that this Lord of Light asks you to work in the shadows.
Shadows cannot live in the dark, Sir Davos. They are servants of light, the children of fire. And the brighter the flame, the darker they are.
These weren't here before. They bar the passage.
They can't bar our passage.
A lot of great stuff there, and I had to cut it before she got naked because who knows what they'll do to you. Anyways, the way my channel is censored, I'm going to do some quick predictions and then we'll get out of here. Jack and Hagar, you don't learn no more about this guy. These writers are so bad and so off their game that this character isn't going to appear anymore throughout the show, and everything about him is just going to be left up into the air. Maybe the prologue will tackle it and kind of do what I was saying earlier. I think an origin to a character's makeup, the basics for the character is in the character's origin, sort of like Under the Red Hood, how the conclusion is Batman Annual 25, the origin to the character's beginning, so to speak. And then I got one for Jamie here too, the Lannisters. The death of Jamie, how he'll go. He's going to die at the hands of the Mountain, and he's going to die in Cersei's arms. Because as we've seen in that last horseshit episode, after he banged Brienne, he's going to ditch her and go back to Cersei, who he'd melt towns and cities for, and, you know, burn down cities or whatever for. But listen to the foreshadowing here. Everything is right here.
What shit way would you choose? In my own keep, drinking my own wine, watching my sons grovel for my fortune.
How disappointing. I thought you'd have something more exciting planned.
I've had an exciting life. I want my death to be boring. How do you want to go?
In the arms of the woman I love.
She want the same thing.
Did you hear Jamie there? In the arms of the woman I love. That's how he wants to die, and that's exactly how he's going to die. Because I can't imagine Brienne traveling all the way from Winterfell back down to King's Landing. Then again, Game of Thrones Express travel. I suppose anything can happen. Either way, that's what's going to happen to Jamie. He's going to die in either Cersei or Brienne's arms after the Mountain kills him. And that's going to spark off everybody else attacking the stupid Mountain in this Clegane Bowl garbage that I could care less about at this point, since they shit on all the better characters and all the better plot holes. And as for Tyrion, we'll say Tyrion sits the Iron Throne, but not like you're thinking. He turns it into a democracy with a biannual elective. And from that point on, he shatters the wheel. And Game of Thrones becomes an essential democracy where, you know, people get voted in and there's no more kings and queens. And I'm going to leave it at that. This video is already long enough. Aside from that, here's to the good days. Stannis and Melisandre, when Game of Thrones, you know, actually was a Game of Thrones. And I didn't even get into the Night King. But, you know, go watch season 2. Go watch season 3. Even season 4, when you see Stannis destroy the army north of the wall. Unbelievably awesome, good shit for the most part. So for us here at the Fivefold Understanding YouTube channel, that is that, this is this, and this is that, I guess.
Look to your sins, Lord Renly. The night is dark and full of terrors.
Look at that look on his face. So throw me a sub, and I'll catch y'all next time. The saga continues.